From a cheerleading teacher that had sex with her students to other teachers having sex with kids as young as 13 years old, we take a look at 10 attractive teachers who had sex with their students. Number 10. Amy McKinney. Amy was a 25-year-old Spanish teacher from Texas and was once a contestant in the Miss Texas competition. Amy qualifies more as someone lacking morals and judgment than a criminal, as she was accused of having sex with an 18-year-old student. Although that is the age of legal consent, there is a law in Texas that says you can't have sex with a student no matter how old they are. Amy got off lucky as the grand jury didn't indict her, but she probably won't be teaching again anytime soon. Number 9. Heather Daughchdrill. Heather Daughchdrill takes it a little too far, even in a piece like this. The 28-year-old teacher was nailed for having sex numerous times with a 13-year-old that she met while she was a teacher at Bible camp. She was charged with 4 counts of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, 8 counts of sexual battery, and 3 counts of second-degree kidnapping, 1 count contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile, and 1 count of indecent behavior with a juvenile. She was sentenced to 1 year in prison. Number 8. Christina Oliver. Oliver was a 24-year-old teacher from California who had sex with a 16-year-old male student. He was a student in her sophomore English class and supposedly had sex with him multiple times before his father called the cops. Oliver pleaded guilty to 4 counts of having sex with a minor, did 150 days in county jail, and got 5 years probation, and of course she also received a bucket load of shame. The boy, he was probably revered by his friends. Number 7. Heather Shelton. This one is a bit of a drag for good old Heather. She was only 3 years older than her victim. She is probably the least creepiest person on this list, but still, once again, what was she thinking? Heather was 22 and a teacher's assistant at a high school in North Carolina. There she started a relationship with a 19-year-old student at the school. The 19-year-old wasn't even her student, but still, however you slice it, Heather had sex with a student and was charged with a felony. She was found not guilty, but obviously was fired and suffered a lot of shame. Number 6. Stephanie Ragusa. Stephanie was a little more hardcore than most of the teachers on this list. She had sex with not just 1, but with 2 of her students. Stephanie was a math teacher in Florida. She was charged with sexual battery of a 14-year-old and with having sex with a 16-year-old. At her sentencing, the judge said that she seemed arrogant and said that he considered her a sexual predator. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Tough outcome when you consider what the others before her received for a similar crime. Number 5. Pamela Rogers Turner. Rogers was a middle school physical education teacher and coach from Tennessee. She was arrested and charged with having sex with a 13-year-old boy numerous times. She faced 15 charges of sexual battery and 13 of statutory rape. She ended up being sentenced to 9 months in jail. This would have been the end of the story, except that she was arrested again after she got out for sending text messages with nude photos and sex videos of herself to the same boy. Number 4. Lisa Glide. Lisa Glide was a drama teacher in Connecticut when she had sex with a boy that was 17 and a half years of age, twice. During sentencing, it was revealed that Glide was suffering from depression and had cancer. The student that she had sex with also wrote a letter claiming that in fact he was the one that initiated the sex and pursued her. He wrote, "I feel the entire case was blown far out of proportion and reason. I was the initiator of the contact, not Lisa Glide. I was clearly not a young child, and Lisa Glide was not a sexual predator." The judge took pity on Glide and sentenced her to a year's probation. Number 3. CARRIE McCandless. CARRIE just possibly may have had the cutest mugshot ever. McCandless taught cheerleading at high school in Colorado. McCandless went on a class trip and provided students with alcohol. Then she had sexual relations with a 17-year-old boy while other students slept close by. She received a sentence of 45 days in jail and probation. After getting out, she was jailed twice more for violating her probation. Oh, and at the time of the crime, she was married to the school principal. Number 2. Megan Mahoney. Megan was a gym teacher at a high school in Staten Island. She supposedly offered to coach one of the students in basketball, but apparently to her, coach means have sex with. Megan and the student got together a few times a week to have sex. As another prime example of how classy a lot of these women are, they were busted after being caught having sex in a local pizza parlor. Even in Staten Island, that kind of thing draws attention. She was charged with 30 counts of statutory rape. Number 1. Hope Jacoby. Jacoby was arrested on the last day of school after admitting to having sex with a 16-year-old male student in her car and also at her home. School officials found out after photos of Hope were found on the student's phone. She was charged with 4 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse and 3 counts of oral copulation with a minor. The judge took it relatively easy on her, giving her 3 years probation and 240 hours of community service. One wonders if a guy teacher did the same thing with a 16-year-old student, if he would have gotten off quite so easy. Check out our other videos and remember to hit the subscribe button for more videos every week.